Hello YouTube, welcome back to part 3 of the Weiss Schwarz, what did I call it again? The Weiss Schwarz mini introduction series. Yes, that's what I called it. So, in this part/episode, part 3, we're going to discuss about all the stuff that I missed in part 2 and 1 because I was tired at the time and I was dumb. So, I forgot to mention a lot of stuff because that's how I am and we make mistakes. So here I am to fix those mistakes and things I didn't clarify. And so to do that, we need to go back to this. I'm sorry, guys. I have to cover this. Hello, we meet again, playmat. So one of the things that I did not clarify, or hopefully I'll try to summarize what I said. Where is it? This card. We're in. So I didn't technically mention what in the first part what a counter card was. So here we're gonna do that right now. So, oh my goodness, the camera super bad. Better. Okay. Whew. Not do that again. So, can you see the card? So, take a good look at this card. Yep. So, oh my gosh. So, this is what a counter card looks like. So, a counter card may look like any normal sort of character, but the only difference is it has this fist symbol, like this. Yeah. And its skill here, it says backup. Let me focus. It says backup, and that means this is a counter card. So it might be confusing on how to use these. Maybe, I'm not sure, but basically, as long as you follow the color requirements and pay its cost, then you can use it. And let me just go back to in-depth on what that means. So, need stuff here. Need you here. And let's get a red card for the hell of it, which I don't have. Oh, that's fine. So basically, to clarify the cards, so, oh yeah, I do need something. So, like I said, to clarify cards and playing them, for one, they must meet the level requirement. Yes, like I'm level 1. And you must pay one stock to use the card, or, well, technically you need 1 stock to play the card or use the counter stuff. Yeah. Either way works. So if your card's being attacked, need a character. Your character. So he's being attacked, then pay the stock and level requirement and the color, because that's also one thing I want to clarify. So, this card. Perfect. So, let's say I don't have these here. So, color requirement in simple terms means since this thing has a 0 cost, meaning that I don't have to pay stock to call this, I could play it freely. Same thing goes for anything with a 0 cost. You could play it freely, no matter what the color requirements is. If it does require a cost, then yeah, you need colors. Savvy? So that's one thing I did mess up. Or I wanted to simplify. Yeah, there we go. Counter cards and what they look like. Just to know, there are multiple variety of whatchamacallit. Excuse me. Counter cards. So this one may be level 1, and I know there are in the child decks, they're like the generic 2k backup ones. So this one gives only 2k power. There are ones that are level 2 that give 3,500 or something like that, or some kind of huge amount. And depending on what, oh wait, deck building, duh. Anyways, depending on your deck and how you run the lineup of 1s, 0s, 2, 3s, you can run whatever you want. Except counter cards aren't that strong. Well, considering this one's only 2k power, then yeah. So just trying to simplify what counter cards are because I didn't do that great in part 1 and 2, and the color stuff and calling cards. Now let's get to the next part where I really didn't mention the deck, or like in the parts, because it never technically happened. So let's get a field set up here because I'm so good in OP. Let's use all the cards. No, I don't need that. And no, I don't want to use too much. Okay, so something that I didn't really go in depth in the tutorial, or dang, it's blurry. Apologize, I didn't focus at first. Hopefully you were able to see all the stuff I talked about before that. So one of the things I did not talk about in part 1 and 2, because considering that we weren't actually doing a real fight, it's very common in Weiss Schwarz to deck out / lose your whole deck. And then in normal games, you'd probably lose if you don't have a deck. But this is Weiss Schwarz is those games where basically when your deck is gone, you do a refresh. Yeah, that's what they call it. Vocabulary. Which means you get your whole waiting room, you shuffle it, and it becomes your deck again. And the game continues on. So I'll say like, yeah, let's do a scenario. So, yeah, there. So clock this for the clock phase, and I draw one. Oh, I need to draw a second one, but there's nothing there. So shuffle, draw, simple as that, and the game will continue. And now that's about the one thing that I can remember so far. Now let's talk about deck building. And oh, actually no, not deck building, but decks in general. So to help me out with this, I believe the back of this does have a thing. So just so you know that we're only talking about the English format because I play the English format, and right now there's not much to play. So let's do. Oh yeah. So when you buy a trial deck for whatever series you want, you get this thing, which is basically like, oh, here's some tips for the deck. Here's some other stuff for the deck. So this is one's like, here's how to play the deck, the trial deck, not my deck, because I need to sneeze. I'm sorry about that. How to play a deck, the trial deck, not my awesome Love Live Sleeve Nico deck. And then this is like, oh, the booster set's coming, and they'll have signed cards. Hey, I have these. Anyways, I want to talk about the decks we have currently in the English meta, and your choice of preference / style / deck. I don't know, archetype or something like that. So, let me see. Here, we have, like, this advertisement for all the decks that we have in the English format currently. I'll do a video on the future of the Weiss Schwarz. Don't worry about that. Spoiler, teaser, sling. So, 1, Love Live. And ignore all this on the top. By the time this is uploaded, probably the Love Live booster set is out. And you could get awesome cards like... Well, yeah, technically, this is from the booster set, and this is from the booster set. So, yeah, don't listen to this. The booster set is out. You guys can upgrade your Love Live deck. Be awesome like me, and pull one of these. And, so, first off, the decks that we have in English format. Love Live. Love Live, the trial deck, consists of yellow and red. So that means that it is, shit, where's the thing? It is a speed technique deck. Yes. I sort of see that. Sort of not, I guess. Well, I guess the speed factor in the... how you describe it is like cards like this, where you call them and you get cards from your deck. Search, like, you know, fast-paced stuff. And then Red Techniques one. The Red Technique cards, like... Oh, I did something. my computer. It's like this, where you have gates, and you get to like call your cards or get cards from your waiting room. Yeah, that's pretty good technique. So yeah, that's what Love Live consisted of, in my opinion. Next, Bakemonogatari. I seriously don't know much about Bakemonogatari. Yeah, you know what? We have to look this up. Shoot, why didn't I do this before? I seriously don't. So the reason why I mean is I don't know much about the Bakemonogatari trial deck. So for now, we'll skip Bakemonogatari. I do know Project Diva. So Project Diva is consisted of green and yellow. Shoot, I'm gonna be wrong. Okay. Apparently from this, it says that Bakemonogatari is blue and red. So blue is advantage and red is technique. So you have an advantage technique deck, which I seriously don't know because I don't have blue cards in my deck. So for one, I do apologize that I'm not very much expertise on Weiss Schwarz. It is not my main game unless I like the series like Love Live, and like in my opinion, there's really not much out for Love. Oh no, there's not much out for Weiss Schwarz in America as they do in Japan because they have so much more stuff. And Weiss Schwarz is like, I guess in my opinion, starting out, or just starting to start out. Yeah, that makes some sense. I hope. And like we're very slow at this. We don't got much stuff, and there's not much players doing it in English. Like I'm pretty sure I have like a lot of people in my locals. They just prefer the Japanese decks because they have more variety and more like what do you call it? They're up to date than these beginner ones. So yeah, I do apologize that I'm not very expertise in Weiss Schwarz. I'm trying my best. So back to Bakemonogatari. Back to Bakemonogatari. It's a blue-red technique advantage deck, which I seriously have no clue how it works, but oh, it is red-blue. Okay, sweet. So next we have Project Diva F, and I'm pretty sure Project Diva F is a green-yellow. I'm gonna go check that out right now. Yeah, it's green-yellow. And considering the fact that, well, mine's red-yellow, but then I know Project Diva F have, it's they're music characters too, so they still have some sort of like relative thing to Love Live. Whereas like, oh, you call this, you search for music characters in the deck and blah, and like music and all that stuff. Except that green-yellow is speed power. My Love Live is speed and technique, so I guess we must lack power in this deck. I don't know. We'll see. That's a pretty interesting thought there. So that's Project Diva F. Sword Art Online. Oh, I hate the deck. So if you guys don't know, Frank, he built his Sao deck with just 2 trial decks, and the trial deck comes with blue and yellow, so that means it's a speed advantage deck. And it was, when I had the Madoka deck, it was pretty like to fight the Sao because it was pretty speed advantage as it is. And the Sao trial deck is pretty, in my opinion, Sao is like the most best variety of deck you can get right now in the English format of Weiss Schwarz. Why? Because it has 2 booster sets out, and every single series here mentioned, it only have 1 booster set. So Sword Art Online has more cards. Yeah, there we go, cards to pump up a good deck. But you know, even though they have like the booster packs, they're not invincible. So you know, Fate Zero. Fate has green yellow. That's the same. No, it's not the same as Madoka. Yeah. So Fate Zero is green yellow, and green yellow is speed power. That's the same as Project Diva. Okay. And Fate Zero. Okay, I guess Fate Zero does have its. Okay, yeah, there are a lot of different cards in Fate Zero because it does have like newer, like it has different abilities than other series. Like I'm looking at the cards right now if you can't see on the screen. So I'm looking up the ace for the Project Diva F card. So Hatsune Miku, what it does is, um, here I'll look it up. I have to do it again because I screwed up big time. So when this card is placed on stage, all your characters get plus 2k for this turn. Stock 1, choose a music character, it gets plus 2k. So for Ace, that's not bad. It's very powered considering it's green. This card is that when you call this, you search your deck for a character. So that's very speed type-ish. And then the Saber card, it's like when you heal, or you call it, you get to heal on 1 damage. And yes, there's healing in the game, not from climax cards, but just from calling cards that have the ability. So, Fate, back to Fate. The booster set is no, not the booster set, but the deck in general, or like the series, is pretty. I would say it's pretty good. For one, we don't have much cards for the deck, but from the booster cards, I would say that it has a lot of potential. Yes. So, back now, the next series is Pelea Madoka Magi, or Pelea Magi Madoka Magica. So, that child deck I hated the most. Why? Because I only got one child deck with that, and that thing doesn't give you any grade 2s whatsoever. They do give you, like, 4 grade 3s, and that's fine. Or level 3s. So that kind of makes up for the lack of level 2s, but then you kind of need your level 2s. But then also there is search power in the deck, which kind of, turns like it balances it out. So you have less level 2s, you get more level 3s, and you also have search power, so you can search for anything you want in the deck. So yeah, it's kind of fair. The booster set, I do know there's a lot of like super strong cards or combo plays that you can do if you get like specific cards. And so Madoka is green blue, and that translates to power advantage. Interesting. And I do know this Gaia, except I have no clue how that works because that is some sort of special child deck or something like that. From what I've seen on the Weiss Schwarz Wikia, or not the Wikia, the English website. Yeah, and I'm just going off from what I heard. I'm not an expert on deck building, but so building decks in Weiss Schwarz, the only reason I ever got Magi or Love Live is because I love the series. I could get Sword online, or Bakemonogatari, or Project Diva, because I like the series too, but like, so like I said, Love Live is, what I'm trying to say here is that Love Live, the child deck, was yellow and red, but there are, in the booster pack, there are also blue and green cards out there to use to build a deck. You don't always have to use yellow red, but I just used yellow red because the child deck came with that, and like, it's more easier to build off a child deck instead of building a whole new color deck. And I have heard that you can make tricolor decks. Like, you can run 3 colors, like you can run like yellow, red, blue, or yellow, red, green, or something like that. Except I'm not that much of an expert to know how to do that and I don't have the cards for it. But then, that's more advanced stuff. And, that just, like, that goes to show that you could, like, run a lot of good stuff, or these series overall can, like, each one, they all have a booster pack for their series. So let's say you buy a booster box for Love Live, then anything you pull out of it is kind of like worth it because you get to upgrade your deck in any way. And if you get like a 0 cost, you can play it for free. You don't need to you can have like 1 green card in your yellow red deck and you can play it because you don't need to play cost. So that's how Weiss Schwarz kind of is interesting in a way, because the trial decks will start you off with 2 colors, and then you can buy cards to pump it up with 3 colors and whatnot. And I don't want to say, if you guys do know how to make a good tricolor deck, then comment down, because I'd like to know, variety. And the booster packs are really, like I said, the booster packs give so much variety to the trial decks and expands them even more, making each series good in its own way and sort of equal, except Style, because Style has freaking 2 booster packs, and that's the most like OP thing right now. I'm pretty sure from what I heard. And in the future, they're making more decks, and we're gonna get a lot more. Hopefully, all of the decks that we have in Japan, or that people have in Japan, because this is like what 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 series out of like I don't know 50, 100,000 in Japan. Yeah, well, hopefully we'll get that soon enough. But for now, we'll start off from the bottom to the top. Yeah, we'll start from the bottom at the beginning. And oh yeah, back to deck building. I'm sorry, I got really caught off there because I'm just saying that decks in general you could build off like a lot because of the colors and the cards, the different number of cards, and then now I'll actually talk about how to build a deck in terms of levels. Excuse me. So now this is going back from what I heard. So deck building depends on the series and like the cards you have. So I'm pretty sure that this is all speculation. I just heard these from somewhere. I'm not professional at deck building. I just build because I played Vanguard and it's sort of like it. So one way I would recommend to build a deck, I don't know if this is good or not, but this is just my Vanguard expertise kicking in because of the level system and it's made by Bushiroad. Level 0s in Vanguard, you have the triggers, the 16 ones. So yeah, I would try to have like 16 or about 16 zeros in this deck. Grade 1 or level/grade 1s, you'd have 14 in Vanguard. And here I try to have that same amount. In Vanguard, you'd have about 12 level 2s. So yeah, I do the same thing. In Vanguard, you'd have about 8 or 7 grade 3s. I run that here. And if it's like Vanguard or I guess I don't know, it just works because if you play Vanguard, it's the same thing where you can't play cards until you like ride or advance to the next level, and for some reason that just makes the deck really balanced, and this deck is sort of formatted like that, and it kind of works. It works. But then back to my back to what I heard is that a series can be built depending on like or your own preference or what the series is, because I'm pretty sure like Fate or something like that has like a lot of level 3s that you could run from what I heard. And I don't know. Yeah, I'm not that really expertise. This is like all speculation from what I heard on the interwebs and from people like other players. But if I had to run, well, actually, in terms of color, make sure you run an equal amount of color because you need to. And if you follow like the basic for Vanguard thing with like 16, 14, 12, 8 or something like that, then yeah, you'll be like, it's sort of balanced. Plus the 8 climax cards, yeah. I forgot to mention that you can only run 8 climax cards in a deck. If you run your whole deck of climax cards, you would never die. I'm pretty sure of it. Because if you damage yourself, oh, climax, cancel. And then you have to wait for the deck out, but you can't do that. So, yeah. So that was a very long video on the stuff that I missed in the beginning. And then like a lot of talk about the whole series, or the game in general, because of the series, the deck building, and all that's like in-depth analysis stuff that I really didn't plan on doing in this video. But, it was a good talk. And Weiss Schwarz, the game, is building very slowly, but it'll get there. And we're seeing it 24 minutes, so I need to end this. So let's take this off now because we don't need this. And let's end it with our new way of always, or let's end the video. Let's end the video with our newly found way of doing it because we changed our map. So that was the Weiss Schwarz introduction miniseries part 3. Maybe there might be part 4. I don't know, depending on how the format changes or whatnot, but there will be more Weiss Schwarz videos, and guarantee that I will see you again. So, like the video if you enjoyed this talk of Weiss Schwarz, the game. Please comment. I like reading comments. It's very fun. And if you have any questions on the future of series, or like questions in general, go ahead, feel to ask them. Say hi if you want to say hi. And yeah, subscribe to see more videos and be up to date with what we do. So that's it from today. Domo from K4RD F signing out. Group 5. Alright, guys. See ya.